Trump's actions. It should be clear to anybody, and it's clear to most people, except his so-called base. His actions are so similar to those of the head of a gangster family, a crime family. There's no disputing that. There's no arguing it. To Trump, there is no law except the laws that he decides are laws. And I can't think of any law that he's decided is a law. So consequently, he can't break any laws because laws don't exist. Okay? One of the crazier things in not in Trump world, but in the big scope of how the world is supposed to work, how the US government is supposed to work. One of the crazier things is Trump telling the attorney general through a series of middle people, because Trump is a cowardly little prick, but telling the attorney general, this disgusting William Barr, to go hold a news conference. This is what Trump wanted to do. Go hold a news conference. And in that news conference, Barr was supposed to declare unequivocally that Trump had broken no laws in his phone call. Just like there was no collusion, no this, no that, no nothing, no ever in the Mueller report. There was nothing, no nothing, no nothing in his perfect, beautiful, wonderful, lovely, shiny phone call with the president of Ukraine. Of course, he wanted his Ukrainian counterpart to investigate the Biden family to benefit Trump. And if the president of Ukraine didn't do that, Trump was just not going to give him the money that the Congress had already appropriated. You know all that. Now, according to the Washington Post, that request from Trump, imagine if you get a request from a gangster like Trump. Eh? That request from Trump traveled from him to other White House officials, and eventually it got to the Justice Department. And in recent weeks, Trump has even mentioned the fact that Barr refused to hold this press conference and declare that the Son of God, Donald Trump, was innocent of any kind of wrongdoing in that phone call. Trump has been bitching and whining about it. He couldn't understand why his attorney general would not do what he told his attorney general to do, and that was to stand out there and make a public false statement. Now, in fact, in recent weeks, as the Washington Post has reported, the Justice Department has tried to put a little daylight between itself and this crazy son of a bitch in the White House, especially on matters relating to this controversy over Trump's criminal activities with Ukraine and the fact that it sparked this impeachment hearing. The Post writes this: people close to the administration say Barr and Trump remain on good terms. Now, anytime you're answering, you hear somebody answering a question that hasn't been asked, you know that the answer they're providing is usually 180 degrees the other way. People close to the administration say Barr and Trump remain on good terms. Uh-oh! You know what that means. And then the Post goes on to say that a senior administration official said Trump praised the attorney general publicly, that which doesn't mean shit because Trump does that all the time, and privately yesterday. And Deputy White House Press Secretary, some freak named Hogan Gidley, said in a statement, quote, "The president has nothing but respect for Attorney General Barr and greatly appreciate the work he's done on behalf of the country. And no amount of shady sources with clear intent to divide, smear, and slander will change that." Well, there's your answer right there. Trump is looking at William Barr the same way he looked at Jeff Sessions and James Comey. Two members of his administration, his gang, that wouldn't play ball, that wouldn't do what Trump wanted them to do. Go lie, go cheat, go steal, go misrepresent, go fuck over the American public, go fuck over world leaders, go do that for me because I am president. Sessions wouldn't do it. He did it up to a point. Comey wouldn't do it. So many people connected to Trump. His chief of staff, Mad Dog, whatever the hell his name was, the general, he wouldn't do it. So, these people usually leave or they're fired because Trump is a gangster. And this is how gangsters, the head of crime families, operate. So, any statement that comes from this thing named Hogan Gidley, the deputy White House press secretary, any statement that comes from this freak that Trump appreciates all the wonderful things Barr has done for the country, and it doesn't make any difference what shady sources with clear intent to divide, smear, and slander. Doesn't make any difference what those shady sources have been saying. Trump just loves Attorney General Barr, just loves him, which is horseshit, and you know it as well as I do. However, the Post goes on to say that those close to the administration also concede that the Justice Department has made several recent maneuvers that you might say are at odds with the White House. Uh-oh! At a particularly precarious time for Trump, and like everybody else connected with this filthy pig, Trump, they spoke on conditions of anonymity to discuss any of this shit. The request for the news conference, when Trump said to Barr, hey, I want you to go out and do this. He tries to get the president of Ukraine. He gets the weak pissants like Sean Hannity and Lou Dobbs. He gets them. Those are easy. But the people that are used to dealing in politics are a little bit less willing to just step right on out. They will do it, but you got to pressure them a little bit. So the request for the news conference from Barr came sometime around September 25th, according to the Washington Post, when the Trump gangsters released a, quote, transcript, end quote, of Trump's phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky. I guess you saw it the other night if you watched any of his masturbatory bullshit when he was in Louisiana or Kentucky, wherever he was. So many people in the crowd had on the free T-shirt, read the transcript. I'll bet if you ask those people, 90% of them, what does your T-shirt mean? Oh, they just gave it to me and it's free, and I'm going to take it because it's free. What transcript? What the transcript about Trump. Yeah, but what specifically? You know what I'm saying. Anyway, that transcript, the partial transcript, the rough transcript, the phony, fakey, bullshit transcript, even that one showed that Trump urged Zelensky to investigate Biden and his son. Well, dangling a possible, hey, you want to come to the White House? Huh? Yeah. Tit for tat. Or like the people with all this education say, quid pro quo. Let's call it what it is, tit for tat. Actually, it's this for that, but how about tit? Huh? I'm Donald Trump. I like that word tit. I really do. Oh.
Greetings, truth seekers. It's that time of year again. Time to help your humble and obedient podcaster keep it lit by keeping the lights on in the Malloy studio with a podcast pledge drive. All October, we are giving away freebies, goodies, and gifts as thank yous for subscribing or renewing your Malloy podcast at the Trump recession level reduced price of $49 a year. It's a different giveaway each week, True Seekers. Everything from an autographed copy of Mike's book, Colored Ice Cream, to my holiday baked goods. Already have a Malloy podcast? Well, it makes a great gift. And remember, podcast subscribers also get exclusive access to the weekend bonus shows, which might be hosted by Mike or by me. We even have a teen show coming up featuring Molly and her friends. Just visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe or renew today. Keep it lit.